Hey students, I'm back with homework for tutorial. So here we have a data set called Obesity 2004. We've got our observation variable that tells us, gives us observations. How many we have? 1,000. Ooh. We have our BMI group. BMI is a measure of how your weight and height together determine whether you're obese or not, overweight, obese, normal. And so we have our BMI here. I created another column here where I put them into categories. So this column is, this variable is what type of variable, and this is what type of variable. I'm not going to answer that for you because I believe in you and I know that you know the answer to that now. These are the same variables, but one measures numeric and the other one categories. Okay, then we've got age, we've got health. The question here was, how would you rate your own personal health? Would you say your personal health is excellent, good, not so good, or poor? And so that's what we have here. People who said don't know, people who said, or there was no response at all, or something happened to the system. How many times people exercise per week, how many times they watch TV on an average day. Let's right click there. Let's edit that comment so we can see all of it. How often you you go to restaurant a week, and then your gender. So because it's coded, or the variable name is 1, the variable name is male, we can clearly determine that male equals 1 is coded as 1 and female is coded as 0, where we see zeros. So let's move on to the homework assignment. First, there's a addition or attachment that I included in a Word document or a PDF document that hopefully you opened up first, along with this Excel spreadsheet that provides you with the first steps before you can move forward to these steps. So the first steps is that we need to create or install an analysis tool pack. Analysis tool pack, we do that by simply following the instructions on that PDF file. We go to File, Options, we go to Add-ins, all right, Analysis tool pack, we go to Excel add-ins, let's go there. I already have it. This may not be selected for you, but it's selected for me because I already have it. And you would simply press OK. But because I already have it, I don't need to go through that step. So now you can go to the Data tab. You see we're at the Home tab. Let's go over to the Data tab. And we see it there. It wasn't there, it didn't exist there before, but now it's there because you just added installed the add-in. Okay, so now we can do a couple of things. To insert a descriptive statistic table or a summary statistic table, or to insert correlation tables, let's click on it so I can show you. We would click here, double click it, or you can press OK, double click. And just like we did 2 weeks ago where we put in ranges, that's all we're gonna do because we gotta tell Excel what to do, right? So we're gonna put in a range for what we want the correlation of, and we're gonna tell it where to paste our correlation matrix. Then we're gonna go to descriptive statistics, the same exact thing. We're gonna put in a range for what we want descriptive statistics of. we're going to tell it to give us summary statistics. If you don't select this, or at least something here, these other things we're not going to talk about in this class. So at least select this, tell it where to paste your descriptive statistics, click OK, and voila, you have it. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention that if your first row is your variable name, which means that it's letters and not numbers, then it's important and critical imperative that you select this. There needs to be a check bar here always. Okay? So it's grouped by columns, it's not grouped by rows, because every row is an observation. We see that here. Oh, we can't go there just yet. Every row is an observation, and every column is the variable. Columns are the variables, every row is the observation. So this observation number 3 is someone who is normal weight, not obese, so they're 74 years old, in good health, exercise about 3 times a week. Was it week? Yeah, 3 times a week, 5 hours of TV a day. Well, they're 74, so they're retired. They can do as they choose, right? They never go to a restaurant, which is probably why they're healthy. And this person is a male. Okay, so these are all going across the rows are observations, and going down are our columns. Excuse me. Yes, they are our columns, but they are our variables. All right. So now that we've gotten that tidbit out of the way, we can actually move forward with the homework assignment. So, important note, all 7 variables, columns C to I, see A is not really a variable, right? Because it's just telling us which observation we're at. B is just a replica of this, but this is the ordinal variable, the categorical variable of this interval level variable. Okay, and so we're gonna start at C. All 7 variables, columns C to I, must be completely numeric in order for it to be analyzed. This means that if it has any words, any letters of any sort as values, it must be recoded to numbers in a logical manner, in a logical order. So for example, we saw the variable health. How healthy do you think you are? And it said poor health, good health, fair health, and so on, excellent health. And then there are people who didn't respond. So for that, we're going to recode. We're not going to put poor as our highest because that makes no sense. If the variable name is called health, then we should probably put the highest health as first. The best health as the highest value. That's the better way of saying it. The best health as the highest value. The worst health as the lowest value. Okay? So recode as poor equals 0, and then we move it up. We're not going to go to 8, right? The next value has to be 1. The next value after that has to be 2. So here we have health, and we have values 0, 1 for fair, 2 for good, and 3 for excellent. And then it's telling us what we're going to do with the rest. Anything that's missing values, null, don't know, no opinion, those will be left blank. Okay? And then here's just another example of how we would code another variable. So let's look at that variable. This variable is all numeric, so we don't have to worry about that. This variable, again, all numeric, so no worries there. And we know it's numeric because we can sort it, and it actually sorts. We know this is numeric because we can sort it, and it sorts. Sort it one way or the other. It sorts. Let's see who the oldest person is here, just out of curiosity. All right, so with health, I want to go back, sort that way. So with health, let's select all. Let's actually let's decide what we're going to code it as. We're gonna go here. I right clicked the health cell. I want to edit, comment, and let's just go ahead and decide what we're going to code them as so that we don't forget. Fair, 2, good, 3, what was it, excellent, and then blanks, anything that we see are blanks are just missing or I don't know, etc., right? All right, so I'm gonna make this bigger so that if we are looking at it, we can see it just fine. So that's what we're gonna code it as. Let's make sure that we didn't leave anything out. Let's go here also. That's everything. All right, so let's select it, okay? And it's important to select it because if we don't select it and we have good or fair or anything somewhere else, it's going to change those values. So by selecting the column, what we're saying is, hey, listen, Excel, don't look anywhere else besides here. Don't look anywhere else besides here, okay? That's what that means. And we want to always do that because we don't want it to accidentally start changing things in other columns that may say fair or good for whatever reason, right? We may have asked another question that had the values fair and good or excellent in them. All right, so let us do that Control H like we did in a previous homework. We're selecting Control H. We're going to select everything that's poor. We're going to make that 0, just like that. Replace. 35 people were in poor health. We're going to go with fair next. Of course, you don't have to do this in order because you already have it listed here. But for example, I could say, you know what, I want excellent next. And that was number 3. Whoa, a lot of people said they had excellent health. And then we're gonna do good health at 2. I love watching this stuff change. Ooh, good health was probably the most. So we have that now. Ooh, look what we have missing. Let's see if we have missings anywhere else. We do have blanks. That's good because it's blank and not listed with the word missing. That's good. So we don't have much to do there. We have anything to do there. We've got another one that's got missing or don't know, and we don't have anything missing there. So I am going to leave that to you to make changes in the restaurant variable and do your recoding. Before I leave that to you, let me show you how I recode the don't knows and the missings. So I'm gonna, I'm already there. So we're gonna call the don't know. Oh, guess what I did wrong? I didn't select this. Woohoo! That would have been critical. So don't know, and let's open this up. Oh, you don't want to match the entire cell. All right, we'll just type it all in. DK/no opinion. DK/no opinion. We're gonna take that 2 out. We're gonna make it blank. Let's close all this out. Make it blank. Okay, so let's see how many. We had only 2. And then we're gonna take that null. I think it was #null. Let's make sure. Oh, there's more. Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Because if we didn't add that exclamation point, we would have everything blank. Actually, let me just show you. Rather show you than tell you. 2. So now guess what we have? We have an exclamation point. So let's get rid of that exclamation point and make that blank also. 2. Should only be 2 of those. So now we have actual values plus the blank ones. Okay? So let's close that out. I'm going to let you do the restaurant one. And then we're going to answer these questions. So the first question is asking us to insert the summary table for this study. Well, first off, we can't do it for the restaurant category variable because we haven't recoded it. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So summary statistics is what that first question asked about. We're going to select our 7 variables. I'm going to select it. We're going to tell it that everything in the rows are our labels, our variable names. I don't want it in a new range, in a new table or worksheet. I want it right there in that same worksheet. And in fact, I think it tells us where we should put it. Where does it say it? E2. We should put it in E2. E2. All right. So let's not forget this part. Let's click OK. So I did that wrong. I'm going to delete that because it said homework twice. Yep. And then we're going to go here to homework. We're going to select, I think it said E2. Yes, E2. So what is it telling us? It's saying, well, there's an error in the descriptive statistics. And what's that error? Input range contains non-numeric data. Non-numeric data, yes, I agree with this error because we've got non-numeric data all throughout column H. So we need to recode that. So I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to remove that from our current range, and I'm going to put G. I'm going to stop at G. And notice I can't even touch I because here, I'll even show you that. How about it? So I'm going to go from E to G, and then I'm going to go to I. We're just going to learn everything today. Yay. So we're going to go from age to TV. We didn't do restaurant yet, so I'm saying, let's just forget it. I'm saying forget it. Don't forget it for the homework. It needs to be done for the homework. And then let's move to I, and let's see what it tells us. We get another error. And people will see this error and get frustrated and not understand what it's saying. But it's saying that the input range must be, the last error said it must be non-numeric, it must be numeric, right? So it's finding something in there, the range that is non-numeric, that is letters. And now this error is saying, hey, it's finding that the range is not contiguous, is not continuous, is not connected. So the range has to be contiguous, meaning you have to start here and stop there, or here you can't piece it together. Even if I did this, that would not, Excel would not be happy, and I'll show you. Excel would not be happy with that. They are connecting, right? But we selected them separately. See, I selected this one. I pressed Control. I said, hey, let's come over here. I pressed Control, held Control down. I said, let's come over here. And you see how it's separating it with commas? Excel is not happy about that. So with this data analysis tool, it needs to be contiguous. Once you recode this, then you will make it contiguous all the way to I. But we can only stop, we have to stop at G. Let's get our data. gonna take a second, give it a second. We see it working. Boom, there we have it. Awesome. Okay, so what I like to do here is, because we need to do things in decent order, it needs to be aesthetically pleasing. We have a whole lot of numbers here and they don't look good right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete. Notice that each of these is has the titles under them, right? We don't need to see that many times. We really don't need to see that. So I'm just gonna select it, press and hold Control, select the next one, press and hold Control. I'm just getting rid of all of these because they're not necessary. It's too much. We need to cut it. All right, so we've cut it. We're gonna take let's delete this stuff too. All I'm doing is pressing Control Y in order to delete, as I just did in a previous command. I'm gonna take that, drag it down, take this little guy here, drag it down. And isn't that nicer? It's nicer, it's not the nicest yet. So to get it to be the nicest, remember our rule of thumb is that we are not keeping decimals. These decimals are just too much. Again, we need to cut it. So that's what we're doing. We're getting rid of these decimals. In fact, there are a lot of things in here that we don't need. We haven't, we're going to double click here. We haven't learned about kurtosis and skewness. So, I would get rid of it. But, if you don't remember to do that in your homework, or particularly in the final and midterms, I guess it's okay. But typically when you present something to someone, you need to be able to explain every single thing on there. So even the variants we haven't talked about. So if you're going to present it to your boss and say, hey, here's my data analysis, here are my results, you better be able to talk about everything that's on there. So it's important to only keep what you understand and can interpret. Again, more stuff I'm finding that I can probably interpret, but we haven't talked about these things just yet. So mean, median, mode, definitely can talk about what that means. We can talk about standard deviation even, and range, minimum, maximum. The sum of all the ages, not necessarily that important, right? Some of these things are not important at all. But the count of them is, and we can see that 988 people responded to the age, what's this thing called? Question. I was going to say variable, but we know variable is the same thing as question. So that means how many people did not respond? Well, that would probably be 12, right? Because we know 1,000 people were in the survey. And so, yeah, 12 people said, you know what? Mind your business. You don't need to know my age. Okay, so that's that. Actually, I just don't like the sum. It makes no sense. It makes sense in some cases. In this case, it doesn't make sense. So this is what we're left with. And this is what you should have left, because you can honestly talk about these things. We're going to go back to that data tab, data analysis. Let's do the same thing for correlation. Okay? Same things. We have our range here. I'm going to let you do that because it's the exact same process. We select column, it stays there. The rows are our variable names, and we can make sure we put the output range maybe right here or whatever it tells us in our instructions. So please follow those instructions. And once you've done that, you can actually answer these questions. Woo, who's excited? All right, that's all I've got for today. Take care, folks.